Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of RoarTime, the Columbus Lions Coaches Show with head coach and director of football operations Jason Gibson, your host Rick Jacobson. And coach, we're riding a little roll here.
Two in a row.
Two in a row. And this one means that we had a trip to Orlando, Florida, where we needed to avenge the opening night loss and came away with one of the most spectacular comebacks in memory. Fourth quarter down by 18, halfway through the quarter.
Look, a win's a win. It's a lot better sitting here talking about it now than if we'd taken a loss. But that team's not very good. And you know what? It's not a statement game. It really doesn't matter if you win 72-0 or 16-15 or 100-3. It's not about that. We just, we had 3 holding penalties. We had 2 holding penalties in the first quarter, and that negated touchdowns. We gave up simple pass touchdowns. We fumbled the ball. We threw a pick. We did everything we could to give that game away. First drive, we go down, first quarter we were losing 15-6. And I'm thinking, here we go again. I remember going there the first game of the season, first play of the game, which has been what's the word I'm looking for? Prediction. For the entire season, we throw a pick 6 on the first play of the game. I ain't never seen that in 15 years. And I guess it kind of just told us what the season was going to be like. And we jump out Orlando first quarter 15. First drive, we go down, boom, 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 score, which is what I expected. They come out and score. First play, second drive, touchdown, Purifoy. They called it back for holding. And they were right. It was a holding call. Every holding call they called was right. We held against a pass rush that's not very good.
Well, who are the culprits, or if you don't want to say that, is it a lack of discipline at this time of year?
Lack of talent.
Well, we know that you don't have your chosen starting lineman in there, and we suffered a significant, severe injury to A.J. Harmon at center. In fact, you were on the field, of course. The screen went blank for 15 minutes, so obviously medical attention.
Yeah, A.J. had a bad injury. He's a season-ending injury. Luckily, he's already had surgery. He's the best center in the league. You lose a player like that. You got to recruit, but I'm human. I'm thinking, now what? We just can't seem to get into the playoffs with our full team or with the full team. And, we talked off air. We almost 9, 10, 11 guys on injured reserve. And I don't know any other team in the league that has faced the adversity that we've had to face throughout the whole season. There's just no way. And, I think it was 15-6 after the first quarter. Bones continues to have a dominant season. I know he caught the first touchdown pass. Desmond Reese had a great touchdown
run
in the second quarter.
Yes.
His effort, we got to start figuring out a way to make sure that kid's in the lineup because he continually, every time he touches the ball, he makes plays.
Desmond Reese, Valley High School and Tuskegee University, and he showed great chops returning the football, too. He had almost 100 return yards, we see. Rushed the ball very well, showed good hands as a receiver.
Yeah, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Great hands as a receiver. He hasn't dropped the ball yet. Great return guy. He's a budding star that I saw that. I saw it in his film. I wasn't smart enough to see it early, but what's crazy is when you look at, Bones is leading the league in all-purpose yards, and he's top 2 or 3 in touchdowns. Paris Mack is arguably I'm not even saying arguably, he is the fastest player in the league, and he can play. And we haven't had him for the last 3 to 4 weeks. Offense. And you got Chris Sanders-McCullum, who's probably up for Rookie of the Year. And you look at those players. Oh, and then you have the best receiver in the league in Tristan Purifoy coming off an injury. You got all these players. And how do you fit Reese in? With
the world-class Houston Clinic taking care of our players, from the preventative side, has any of this been preventable injury-wise?
It's just football. It's just football.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a lot of miscommunications. The whole first half we had issues with the kicking game, obviously.
Lindsey Wolf's worst game as a lineman.
It was his worst game. Mm-hmm. When I talked to Lindsey, and he knows, we talked about it. And but going into halftime, 29-20, which they scored a touchdown with like 10 seconds left in the half. that stuff's just got to stop. And you can't win playoff games. Hell, you can't even win games with stuff like that. Just too many mistakes. So it wasn't a polite halftime at all going in. I think we were down by 9 going at halftime. And I'm thinking, here we are. We're in a fight for our lives. Good news about that game was it was the largest Orlando crowd of the year.
Oh, nice to hear.
It was a great crowd. They have great fans, man. I tell you what, that's the kind of game you can be part of because those fans came out. That team's, 2 and sorry, and their fans are so supportive. They came out. They were cheering and hollering. They made some, their team made some great plays. They made some good defensive plays. I think they had a pick 6. They made a lot of really good plays, and their fans were into it, man, and it was fun. It was loud, and I'm excited for that team and that franchise because when that team's going to be good, it'll blow Jacksonville out of the water.
Interesting. The legacy from the Arena Football League is really more Orlando Predators than Jacksonville Sharks.
Absolutely.
And that's a good franchise that the city's been without football, arena football.
So proud to be part of that game. And as we went into halftime down 29-20, that's what scared me the most. Was the crowd because they had those players playing way above they should have been playing. And I always tell my team, you don't let somebody who shouldn't be in the fight think they can be in the fight because then they won't quit. And that's exactly what happened. Orlando's confidence kept getting better and better, and they start making more plays and more plays. Michael Lyons had a couple touchdowns. I like him a lot, wide receiver for them. Coming out of halftime, I'm like, we better do something different. And then we get to the third quarter. They start out, funny story. Third quarter, I'm dying. I'd been yelling, screaming, whatever. I had to go to the bathroom. So we kick off, and I said, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. I had to run the locker room. I had my headsets on. I said, if we get the ball back, if we get on offense, let me know through my headset. Because, sorry, I've been sick. And I said, I'll run back out real quick, but I got to go. I cannot hold this. And I was in the locker room for 2 minutes. I come back out. They're already on extra point. I'm like, what happens? Like, Coach, they scored. I'm like, I wasn't even gone for 2 minutes. I mean,
calling plays from the urinals, folks.
I wasn't calling plays. We were on defense. And they came out and scored, in a minute. I'm looking at the score sheet. They scored in a minute. And I'm thinking, and all of a sudden now they're up 34-20, and I'm thinking, is this possible?
Things are getting worse and worse from the viewing standpoint, but a key play, and let's talk about a positive that, I thought it was the turning point. And that's when Brian Smith, Orlando quarterback, lost the ball like a watermelon seed while attempting a pass. The arm was definitely not going forward, and we recovered, turned that whole momentum around in the fourth.
That was, the onside kick we got.
Oh, and that was a beauty by Lindsey.
That was a great play. It was a great kick by Lindsey. It was a great play by Shadow. I even had the official come up to me privately. He said, Coach, I'm not going to lie, that kid that made that onside catch, he said that was a really good play because he had to reach in the stands and grab it before it went out. Great job. And so that kind of started. When we got that, because if you look at it, they outscored us in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. And it's continually getting worse. And we go into the fourth quarter, we're down by 3 scores.
Yep, yeah, every bit of it.
3 scores. And if you look at the score sheet, we scored 4 times in a row before they scored. We outscored them 24-3.
Well, this is, like I said,
with a backup, with a guy who's never played center, because AJ goes down in the third quarter. So not only are we down 3 scores, you lose our best lineman. So now you take a guard who's never snapped a ball a day in his life.
And who was this?
Shaq Wallen. You move him to center. Then you take a defensive lineman and move him to guard. And I'm like, can anybody play center here?
Well, we've got a lot of assessment more to go, and we also want to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we've got lots of news, great promotions on the last home game of the season. See you in just a couple minutes, folks.
Don't you buy no ugly truck. Get the Rivertown Buick GMC.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on new GMCs.
Get out that ugly truck and into this.
New Sierra 2500 HD with 0% 60-month financing. Tell them where, Smack.
Rivertown Buick GMC.
Rivertown Auto Mall on Whittlesey Road in Columbus. RivertownBuickGMC.com.
Don't you buy no ugly truck.
USAA gives me the peace of mind and the security just like the Marines did. At one point I did change to a different company with car insurance and I was not happy with the customer service. We have switched back over and we feel like we're back home now. We're the Williams family and we're USAA members for life.
Collision Surgeons of Columbus, now at our new location at 5050 Warm Springs Road Connector. We've teamed up with JP Auto Care to create a one-stop shop for your collision and mechanical needs. Don't go into cardiac arrest. Come by Collision Surgeons at 5050 Warm Springs Road Connector.
Back we are with Roar Time, the Columbus Lions coaches show, as we analyze the Lions' 52-46 overtime win in Orlando last Saturday night, a Friday night actually. Coach, did the Friday game change routines at all?
I love Friday games. I love it because it gives you the whole week, and I'm being selfish, but you play on Friday night. I think it's better for the fans. I'd much rather get off work and go to a game on Friday night. And get out of work, have a great time, grab the kids, get something to eat. That's your Friday night thing. Saturday's your day to do stuff. You know what I mean?
But what about when you played the previous Saturday? Is it enough time in between games?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so short week is not that short.
Because if all the games were on Friday, I'm making a pitch to the league. If all the games were on Friday, then you could have Saturday, Sunday off for the players, so they still get the same amount of rest. You know, so I don't know. Just my opinion.
Probably more rest because they don't have their day jobs.
Right.
And, but anyway, we kind of left this discussion off with the fumble in the fourth quarter.
Oh, that was lucky.
18-point swing though, and it did look like Smith, untouched, lost the
Well,
snap.
I don't know what they were doing. There was, we onside kicked it again. They got it. They were in field goal range. Their kicker's pretty good. Field goal ends the game. Game's over.
Yep.
And it was getting close to being under a minute. All they had to do was run the ball 3 times, kick a field goal. Game's over. But they tried to throw it. He fumbled it, and we took it.
Yeah.
So when that happened, you could feel the life come out of them, and you could feel the life come into us. And I kind of thought once we got the onside kick the first time we went down and scored, I thought, nah, we got a chance. Because I knew they'd screw the clock up under a minute. And I had all 3 timeouts, and they didn't have any timeouts.
Right.
So they should have made me burn my timeouts, but they didn't. But then getting the ball back, we knew we were going to score. I don't care. It was just we got in the huddle, and that's what's frustrating about our team is where's that intensity on every series? Where's that effort on every series? And we wound up going down and scoring. I think that last play was to Purifoy. And Purifoy's hurting. His foot's hurting from that off-season injury, and there's a special play that we wanted, and I had to beg him to come off the bench, and he hobbles out on the field, and he ran it to perfection. We hadn't ran that play all year long.
How was he able to do it?
That's what I love about vets. You can call something on the fly. We hadn't ran it all year long. He came out and ran that play. We scored for touchdown, and then we line up with 6 seconds for the extra point.
Yeah, we discussed it off there. Just a tough night for Lindsey Wolf, and kickers know it. Their careers come and go based on performance.
Yeah, that was a bad miss. That was, we missed that extra point. I thought it's just not in it for us, man. But then the drama adds in. There's 6 seconds left, right? What happened?
Well, we're talking about the 6 seconds in overtime or regulation.
Regulation.
Okay. You tell us. You're the coach.
Did you think he was going to make the deuce?
It looked good to me. It looked like he kicked it over the bar. Yeah.
He's done it before. He did it in the playoff game against Lehigh Valley, and we won the game. And he kicked it. I thought, holy cow, we're about ready to make this deuce. It double hit off the uprights and bounced out. But what's crazy is the ball's live off the field goal, off the goalpost. If we had fell on that ball, we could have lined him kick a field goal. I'm not saying we would have made it, but at least there would have been another chance.
Yeah. And of course, in overtime, we score quickly, and another missed point.
Yeah, I'd tell you to keep playing overtime. The first play was a 5-yard throw to Tristan Purifoy. No big deal, right? Tristan carries 4 guys 15 yards down to the 5. And then that's what I preach to my players, man. Effort, just effort. That's pure effort to do that. And then we score the next play, Hicks on a boot that we hadn't ran all year long. We've been practicing it. But Brian made a great play fake off the run that we've been running with Desmond. And Bones Bagante made a big-time block, and Brian turned the corner and scored. And we missed the extra point again, and I thought, holy cow.
Yeah, in fact, you were forced earlier in the game to go for 2-point conversions several times.
I had to.
Loss of confidence. So how will you handle the kicking situation for this?
We're going to re-sign Blake Erickson. bring him back. Blake was leading the league in scoring. Just he wasn't hitting the deuce, and sometimes that deuce adds up. But if you're missing 4 or 5 extra points, the deuce is really just the makeup of the extra points you're missing.
Sure.
So what's the power to it? But we'll resign Blake. Blake came back. He's excited to be back, and we'll go for the final game into the playoff game with him kicking. So.
Well, we'll get to the Carolina game discussion here momentarily. First, Coach Gibson's going to give us his best read of our RoarTime sponsor endorsements. Have at
Absolutely. I've been killing Jordan's Girls. That place is good. Jordan's Girls Gourmet Dogs, the favorite eating spot of the Columbus Lions and staff. Home of the Lions Big Dog half-pound Black Angus beef foot long, whole or scrambled. Drop by the corner of 8th Street and Veterans Parkway. Opens Mondays through Friday, 11 to 5, Saturdays, 11 to 4. Sprague Supply. The crews of Sprague Supply pride ourselves in providing customers with the best quality parts, personal service. You can order from us by phone or visit one of the 3 locations: Columbus on Alexander Street, Phoenix City, 280 Bypass, and Auburn, Opelika Road. And we'll talk about my favorite, Motors Acceptance Corp. Are you trapped in a title pawn loan? Lower your interest rates, lower your payments, and get $100,000 in cash with Motors Acceptance Corp. in Columbus, Georgia. Just call 1-800-NEW-RATE and lower your payments today. We'll get to the other ones we'll get later in the show. I tell you what I love about the reads with these companies is they're all great people. They're great community people. They're great local businesses. Love supporting them. And they all know you by name when you walk in. And when you talk about being in a good community, when you can pick up the phone and call somebody and actually talk to the owner. And they really do care. It's not just about a buck. I love all those. I love supporting all those companies, and I hope you do too.
Sure do. The beauty is CTV, the great folks we have over here. There's a lot of mutual sponsors and advertisers between us. It's just a kind of a general love fest on the television side for Columbus Lions football. So, final take on the Orlando game. The Lions come away with a win that was not essential to clinching of the playoff spot, but it sure makes it more relaxing to know that we don't have to absolutely win this final home game against the Cobras Saturday.
Well, the good news was the last 2 games, either we had to win one or New York had to lose one. New York was going to play Carolina and play Mass. Mm-hmm. So they were going to lose one no matter what. So we were 99% in the playoffs. But now it's official, which sets up a matchup against Jacksonville on August 6th. And so,
sure enough, it is time for commercial break number 2. We'll come back and discuss the league standing situation.
Carolina game, Jacksonville game. It's a crazy weekend in the NEL, Rick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the best weekend in the NEL, but it was also the worst week in the NEL.
Yeah, and we've got to talk a little bit about that momentarily.
Yep.
But the future bodes well, and we've got plenty of promotion for the Lions' final home game. Exciting action in many fronts. Back with you folks in just a minute or two.
Thanks, Dr. J. My back feels so much better. Now tell me where I can go for my headaches.
Really? You don't need to go anywhere else. That's what we do.
Well, what about my shoulder?
That's what we do.
Pinched nerve?
That's what we do.
Well, what about disc problems?
That's what we do.
Sciatica?
With almost 500,000 patient visits over the last 34 years, don't just take my word for it. Ask a friend.
Call Dr. J. Broadwin and Associates today.
Hi, I'm Charles.
And I'm Tony with Midas here in Columbus, Georgia.
Did you know that 84,000 people in the Chattahoochee Valley go hungry every day? So we've partnered with Feeding the Valley Food Bank here in Columbus, Georgia. Every oil change feeds up to 5 people, or you can drop off food donations at either one of our locations. Together we can drive out hunger.
Come visit us at either one of our Columbus locations. We're located at 315 13th Street or 1631 Manchester Expressway.
Back, folks, with Roar Time, and we left in a cliffhanger situation discussing National Arena League action this past weekend. In addition to the Lions win Friday night in Orlando, the very next night, almost a duplicate game.
Great game, man.
Jacksonville, Massachusetts.
2 great games, back-to-back, 2 great crowds, phenomenal crowd in Jacksonville. I watched, the end part of the Jacksonville game. It was back and forth. Massachusetts comes back, ties it up. Then they go up. Then Jacksonville drives the field with almost no time on the clock. They score. They tie it up. Massachusetts gets the ball back with like 18 seconds left or something, or 10, and go for a field goal for the win, miss it. That game goes into overtime. I mean, what a great, and then, of course, Jacksonville wins in the same fashion. You know, they go down and score on the first drive, and then turn around and have a defensive stop on 4th down and end the game on an interception the same way we did. And it was just a great game for the home crowd. And so, you know, after Friday night, Saturday night, we're all beating ourselves on the chest. I mean, as much as I was disappointed in our effort, I'm always about the league. Not a lot of people are. But at the end of the day, I understand what's best for the league. You know, what's good for the league is games like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And what's best for a league is best for each individual member of the league, really.
Well, absolutely, because, you know, you need Orlando to be good. You need the great crowds. You need rivalries. You need 1-second games. You need people going back to the water cooler on Monday morning saying, man, did you see that? Win or lose. You know, and so that's what you got to have. So it was good for the league. So we're feeling good about ourselves. And then Sunday happened.
Right. Now, just one last little mention here. I saw the scoreboard announcing a crowd of over 7,800 in Jacksonville.
Which is not a great crowd for them. They should be in the 9s or 10s, but still, that's a lot.
How many would you say made it to Orlando, our game?
Woo. I'm going to say it was over 5 easy.
Terrific.
Because when I remember it, usually I can usually tell because we do the management side of it too. So I'm always looking at numbers. And when we were out there in first quarter, I looked up. They had people in the upper deck. When you start having to put people in the other upper deck,
in a big arena,
in a 25,000 seat arena,
yeah,
there's a lot of people. And I did notice it. And plus, I can see it on film. That arena's so big. It's the nicest arena in the league. It's not even close. And there was over 5,000 people at that game, and they were loud and they were fun. So 2 games back to back, great for the league.
I will not pass up the next visit to Orlando.
No,
I've missed 2,
it's a good trip.
Want to see the Amway Center where the Orlando Magic play as well, and kind of brings you to, as you mentioned, Sunday evening where an incident in New York, White Plains, New York, did leave a bit of a black eye for the league. Want to tell us about it?
I'll just tell you what I know. All I know is, you know, Carolina was beating the crap out of New York by halftime, and an unfortunate incident happened where players got robbed, you know, and that's awful. I mean, I think there's nothing worse in this world outside of being a bad parent is stealing from somebody. I just think being a thief is just, you can't, I mean, to steal from somebody else, man, and you're better off asking for it. And when you steal people's belongings, that's awful. I hate it for those guys, for that staff. I've had it done to me and my team before, long back in Rome, the Rome Renegades, back in I think 09 or 08, came in and stole everything out of the locker room at our game. You know, me, myself, my players. But I remember the owner from Rome came in and made it right, and he paid all the players off.
One question I've had is,
but it was an inside job by a staff member who had credentials. So, as unfortunate as the situation as it is, there's bad people in the world, man. People are going to find a way around the system. So, you know, the league's handling it. I'll just leave it at that. But
question mark, was there the ability to lock up the valuables anywhere in the locker room? Whether a safe or a lockable?
No comment. I can't comment. All I know is when I was there. When I was there and we played, they had security downstairs. You know, but it's a difficult locker room because the locker rooms are on 2 floors back. It's a weird setup in the arena. There's a lot of accessibility. So that's a security issue that even if they had everything covered, let's say they had a security guy at every single door, you still got a staff member walking by showing credentials. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Now, maybe they should be in the locker. I don't know. I wasn't there. I mean, so I'm not going to sit here and speculate. And I'm not going to be all the retards on social media that are giving all their opinions that weren't even there, you know. But that's what social media is for, to be able to say things that you don't want to say to people's face because, you know, that's what social media is for. But it's an unfortunate situation. I feel bad for the Carolina players, man. That especially when you're traveling. It'd be different if you're at home, you know. But you're on the road. You get your money stolen. But you know they got a great owner, Rob Storm. I know he made it right for the players. Corey's going to make it right for the players from New York. He's a great guy. He had a lot of sympathy for the players. But at the end of the day, the deed's done. It's going to get rectified. You got to play the game, man.
You know, the Carolina Cobras, for those who didn't know, chose not to play the second half And does it go down officially, to your knowledge, as a forfeit?
That's a league decision. I have no idea. Didn't ask, don't care.
Well, it does not affect the standings, folks. So we move forward.
And then that's, if it had affected the standings, would they have chosen to not finish the game?
Interesting, ponderable, you might say. But it kind of brings
Just
us,
saying.
as we bring it on home, we kind of have rivalry week to end the regular season in the NAL. Beautiful ones. Ours with Carolina.
Orlando, yep.
Jacksonville, Orlando, New York, Mass.
But Carolina's not a rival. Jacksonville's our rival. Carolina's just, they don't have anybody else to be a rival with.
Well, we're our pair. We're the pair
We're the
team.
pair, yeah.
This will be our fourth game Saturday night against the Carolina Cobras. Have not played well against them this year.
No,
Going
we
back-
haven't. They've whooped the snot out of us the last two games. I mean, bad. We look like a peewee team. So, but I mean, we've never played them with our full roster. That's the problem I just keep running into. And we're not going to play them this weekend with a full roster. I got a brand new center coming in. You know, we're working on our third quarterback. We got guys coming off IR.
Could you identify this new center?
No. Not yet.
Okay.
So, but we just
Good reasons for that, fans.
You know, the first time we played them up there, you know, we've never had the offensive line. We just never had. The last time we've played Carolina with a full roster, no injuries, our full team was last year, the first two games. That's the last time, and we won both of them.
Yeah, and it just seems like
But ever since then, you know, we go into the last game of the season at Carolina last year. We got a backup quarterback. I got, you know, Deron Neal's out, Fortson's out. You know, we're limping around. They beat the brakes off of us. We go into the playoff game or the championship game. I got all four wide receivers out, backup quarterback. We can't score a lick, can't do anything. You know, this year, twice we go up there with, you know, not even the offensive line we have. It's just we can never get the full tilt, you know, to be able to play at our strength. And it's not going to happen against Saturday either. I mean, I got a bunch of makeshift guys in there, and we're trying to hang on. And to be honest with you, the game means something because you're playing it. I'd love to beat Carolina at home. I'd love to win a game at home. But I'm watching film on Jacksonville because at the end of the day, we win that game, everybody shuts up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that takes care of that business. To be honest with you, of all the teams that play right now, I'd rather play Jacksonville. I don't want to play Mass.
The Lions are one team that's shown the ability to win on the road in this league frequently. And you did it last year in Massachusetts, first-round playoff win against the hottest team in the league.
Yeah. But you got to remember last year, too, going into the playoffs, there was only one team left with their starting quarterback, Carolina.
Yep.
We all had. I mean, Jacksonville probably had the worst quarterback situation. And then, you know, then we're rolling in with a backup. Mass is rolling in with a backup. You know, they lose Brackett. We lose Espinoza. That's the MVP of the league and offensive player of the league. And Jacksonville struggled at quarterback. None of us could figure out, you know, and Carolina was full strength. And then all of a sudden this year, you're in the same predicament. Now there's two teams rolling in. There's three teams rolling in at full strength. And we ain't one of them. So it doesn't bode well for us, you know. But it'll be exciting to watch the games. I like how they're staggered. But, I mean, I'm watching film with Jacksonville right now, and I'm just trying to figure out which players can stay healthy. I'm trying to keep players healthy so maybe I can go into the playoffs for once with a
Going with Brian Hicks at quarterback, how do you think he's performed for us?
good plays, bad plays. I think Brian's a winner. And at the end of the day, you know, we were down with defensive end at guard, a guard who's never snapped the ball, fumbles, interceptions, and he found a way at the end of the game to make plays. And that's what you have to have. You have to have somebody that when the play breaks down, that they can figure out a way. And he's that guy. He's got a ton of experience. He gets in and out of the huddle, you know, and so we'll go with Brian.
Concerned with the high number of interceptions?
Yeah, always. If you turn the ball over, you're going to lose.
You know. But we won one with a turnover deficit this past Friday night.
Yeah, I made a three-pointer one time, too.
Folks, let's tell you a little bit about Saturday night. Lions and the Carolina Cobras at the Civic Center. Beautiful back-to-school bash promotion.
Yep.
And all school district employees over numerous area towns and communities will be out in force. And how about the 5K run for autism?
Yeah, that's pretty good. We got a 5K run Saturday morning, starts at the Civic Center. We got a little 5K course, finishes at the Civic Center. Money's getting donated to the Autism House of Columbus. And it's the first time we did it. I look to make it an annual event and really blow it up. Maybe get it more downtown next year if we can plan it ahead of time and have a good time with it. So I'm excited. TJ's put a lot of effort into it with some great sponsors with it as well. But the main thing is, one of our staff members, Kurt Holcomb, I think his son, I'm pretty sure his son has autism. And he's helped out with us too. So shout out to Kirk and your boy. And we look forward to being able to do something and write a check back and continue to give back. And that's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, we've got a great much else going on. I'm very proud that we have sold some tickets up in the Valley area, concentrating on West Point, Georgia, Lynette Valley, Lafayette, Alabama. Also, 2 Pratt & Whitney's coming out. In fact, right after the show, we're going out for an appearance. One of Columbus's largest, finest, most established employers having a big group with us. It is time for our final commercial break. Then we're going to come back with our Players of the Week and wrap up this edition of Roar Time. See you momentarily.
Every day, men and women from communities across this nation serve as Reserve Citizen Airmen.
I am proud to defend our nation.
Proud to be part of a team that helps make a difference.
I am proud to be part of something larger than me and to serve my country.
We celebrate those who have served and those who are proudly serving in the Air Force Reserve. Our mission is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
I am proud to be a member. I am proud to protect our...
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
It's Love Your Car Month at Napa.
I love a good filter.
And whether you live under the hood,
horsepower,
or have never popped the hood,
door power,
your car deserves some love. That's why all month long, we've got great deals for your vehicle. Because when it comes to caring for your car, all you need is Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Welcome to the Columbus campus of Georgia Military College. At GMC Columbus, students participate in community events, community service, and student activities. Join the excitement at GMC Columbus, a college for its community. Apply today at gmc.edu.
Okay, viewers, it is time to wrap up this edition of Roar Time. Right before the last week of the regular season, Coach Gibson's going to finish up some sponsor endorsements.
Yeah, definitely. Air Force Reserve Recruiting sponsors have passed the Pigskin and Defensive Player of the Game for 2 seasons. Watch for our special Air Force Reserve introduction ceremony at halftime. Texas Roadhouse, home of the fall off the rib bones, hearty hand-cut steaks, ice-cold beer, legendary margaritas at 2970 North Lake Parkway, a favorite eating spot of the Hungry Lions players. The Overby Company, Mark Overby, longtime copier and print supplier to the Lions office staff at 3 locations. Shred away documents, shredding and storage, protect your business the best way. And, of course, Midas of Columbus. It's been with us for a long time. They do the Midas Player of the Game. Winner gets a free oil change. Downtown Columbus at 13th Street and Veterans. In 1631 Manchester Expressway, every touchdown is a Midas of Columbus touchdown. Trust the Midas touch.
Okay, folks, and why don't we take that and go right straight through the Players of the Week, beginning with the Midas of Columbus Player of the Game.
Who did we pick this week?
That's a good question. This was the 52-46 win over Orlando. I do know Brigante had a big yardage game.
I think we're going with Bones Brigante. I'm pretty sure. Haley picked him out this year, but this week, so I'm almost positive it was Bones Brigante for Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, and he continues to show great hands and clutch timing. Scored 4 touchdowns and had total yardage well in excess of 100. Bringing us to the Sprague's Supply, Napa Parts, Offensive Player of the Game.
Brian Hicks. Thought Brian had a good game, threw a couple touchdowns, ran one. Led us for that final drive to get a touchdown in overtime, and he had a great game. And we had a couple mistakes, but what we were playing with and how we were playing, I thought I did a good job.
Especially just how did you adjust to the Harmon injury situation? Who moved positions on the line?
Shaq Wella moved the center, and then Kendrick Washington from the D-line moved to the offensive line.
How'd he do there?
We came back and won and scored 24 points.
Excellent.
Maybe I should play him there.
We've had Crawford now and Washington, both defensive linemen on the offensive line this year. That's severe injury problems, folks. Taking us to award number 3, Air Force Reserve Defensive Player of the Game.
Kyle Griswood. I mean, he gave up a couple scores, but he also made a couple of big picks. He made the pick to win the game, and he made a pick earlier in the game. I thought he had he continues to find the ball, and he giveth and he taketh away. So we'll go with Kyle Griswood.
Okay. Allstate Insurance, Sean McGarry Agency, Good Hands catch of the game.
Got to go with Bones. I mean, he made a great catch in the end zone, I think early in the second quarter on a fade route. He continues to make those special catches, and go with Bones again.
Okay. I was wondering myself, we talked so much about Desmond Reese having a great game. Anything for him this week?
He was running it so much. He had the running game, run of the game, but we don't have that award yet, but we'll get it.
It's coming.
Yeah.
But we do currently have the Collision Surgeons of Columbus big hit of the game.
Uric Jones made a big sack third quarter, fourth quarter on the quarterback. It was a big play, and we'll give it to the big general.
There you go, our weekly plays of the game, folks. And, as we come to this final regular season game, it's been a year with many twists and turns. And like you say, we're trying to get healthy as possible for the playoff game, which Jacksonville has pushed back to Tuesday, August 6th. So you have a few extra days if you need.
That helps.
I'm sure it does. What you're going to go with a short roster this Saturday night? Just how short, and is it safe for the players to compete if they have to all play 60 minutes?
We'll play with 21, but it's some guys at new positions and trying to figure things out. But they're all pros. We'll compete. We'll try to put them in the best position to be successful. Still dealing with a lot of rookies, but we're playing at home. I'd love to win 3 in a row. Go to the playoff game, make it 4 in a row. So, as much as we're preparing for Jacksonville, you don't want to look over Carolina.
Right.
But I just want to be physical. Maybe lay some thuds around on the field and ding them up going into the playoffs.
Do you feel that Carolina is going to be all in on this game? Obviously, Jacksonville's now won 12 straight games.
Yeah.
And could make it easily 13.
I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak for them. I don't know anything about them. What their mindset is. I mean, I've hard enough time trying to deal with my guys.
Sure.
To be honest with you, I'm so focused and frustrated with just making roster moves and practice scheduling, and trying to accommodate and get things in with the IRs and going to the hospital and going to the ER and going to the rehab to make sure we're healthy.
You can see how Carolina would just be looking to get out of Dodge healthy. This game is not impactful to the Cobra season.
Right.
They're in the second place slot no matter what. They're going to host the Massachusetts Pirates in the first round no matter what. So do you feel like they're going to bring any ill will or unnecessary roughness, if you will, from the New York incident?
Who knows, man? People's emotions are strong, and there's, it's fight or flight, and I don't know. It just, I don't know. I couldn't speak for them. I feel bad for the players. That's just, I hate that, man. Because people work for their money and work for their valuables and their jewelry and things like that. For somebody to take that away, it's just not right.
It's been problem after problem, it seems, in White Plains, New York this year with the small, inadequate arena, short field.
Well, the last 2 words pretty much explained it. Mm-hmm. Not really the White Plains, just the New York part.
I see. Do you? I just wondered as we start to wrap up here. Have you heard anything with Corey Galloway and the New York Streets based in Brooklyn? Is it possible that they could get into the Barclays Center next year, which is losing the New York Islanders of the NHL, so really could have the space for another tenant?
I don't have a comment.
Okay. That's something I'm kind of hoping in the back of my mind because the Madison Square Garden arrangements did not happen.
They have a plan.
Okay. Well, we look forward to the offseason and maybe around championship week with league meetings, maybe some announcements will come out. Right. Very interesting and anxious to hear about how expansion may be looking for the NAL and the New York Streets plans for the future. As well, love the positive report you give about the Predators franchise.
Oh, yeah. it's good all the way around, which is so. And there's some exciting expansion news that we're not going to drag our feet in what we did last year and go into December, that we can announce pretty soon with some quality markets that the fans will know and like. It'll help the league out and help the league grow. So that'll be something to talk about on the next show. But right now, it's as they say, it's on to Carolina. Let's play good and take care of business, and then start getting ready for that playoff game.
Awesome. So, folks, there you have it. As we approach Saturday, July 27th, the Lions' final regular season game against the Carolina Cobras. Remember, tickets on sale at the Civic Center. Call the Lions office for your group rates by Thursday night. And if you've got leftover season tickets, remember they can be swapped in the Never Waste ticket program for tickets to this final game. Remember to use your flex tickets, as this is the final opportunity for 2019. And of course, we will have season ticket renewals and taking new season ticket holder deposits Saturday night at the Civic Center at the Lions Fan Center as well. So there you have it. This week's edition of Roar Time. Very insightful, very informative. Look forward to seeing you folks next week. And by the way, right after this telecast, please watch the telecast from Orlando. And we thank you for watching Roar Time. Good night.